Excuse me.
Thank you. That is kind.
You're a soldier?
Long ago.
Do you mind? I'm Sam.
Please. Tell me, Sam, do you know the story of our slain king and his beautiful daughter, the Princess Issa?
I don't.
Well, you remind me of her.
Tell me what's going on.
I'm here to finish your training.
A little late for that.
One is never too old to learn, Snips.
All right. What's the lesson, Master?
Live. Or die.
I fear we lost some measure of our honor since that betrayal. I'm afraid our compassion, our kindness, our very joy died with that young girl.
I believe it's in you. I won't fight you.
I've heard that before.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Space-Tastic Discussions. So, you've heard me say this for a while now. Hashtag Obi Wan Gave Up. Hashtag I stand with Anakin Skywalker. Hashtag the Sith are the good guys. And I've teased many people about this, including the person I'm about to bring on right now. And I am so thankful for this person. Without him, I wouldn't be hyped for DC right now. DC would just be in the hands of James Gunn and all that. But this guy, he created a movement that gave us hope for DC, to give Zack Snyder the chance to finish properly his story of the Snyderverse, to give us the proper conclusion to the story that we all love. And since this guy's started YouTube, I have given him shit, let me tell you. I would always tease him. Why aren't you talking Star Wars? Your name is Skywalker. Why aren't you talking Star Wars? So tonight, we are going to have Star Wars talk. He is going to be talking Star Wars tonight. So let me just say a quick hi to the chat, and we're going to start our show. What up, a Curly Ray? Geek Defense? Linda? Darth Plato. Let's not waste any time. please welcome as I bring on Skiiwalker the Jedi.
What's going on? What's going on, Bat Dan? I am much obliged to be here. Thank you, bro. Ready to have this conversation and finally put this discussion to bed once and for all. Did Obi Wan give up?
Same here.
Shout
Although
out
I
to
have
the
a
good
feeling
Austin as well.
Yep, shout out to the good Austin, who also created this awesome logo, the background, and the intro that you just saw.
Yep, and
So-
he designed that shirt, that cartoons and cereal shirt. You know what I'm saying? That's why he was saying great shirt. All right, yeah. Hey, it shouts out to the homie Austin.
Hopefully you saw that. It's always hard when I try to do the shirt reveals backwards.
Yeah,
Or the back of the shirt.
We got a good little peek at it.
Good. So before we start this debate, I will give you this, Skywalker. There is one thing that I blame Anakin Skywalker for, and you're gonna love
What's
this. In Clone Wars, a brave clone trooper by the name of Fives tried to warn everyone about the inhibitor chips that forced the clones to commit Order 66, and Anakin Skywalker did not listen. And at that point, he was not far enough gone that he would have sided with Palpatine, but he was an idiot for not listening to Fives. So,
Hey, that's another thing. No, man, look, Anakin has more than one fault here. We're gonna get into it. So, I'm glad that we're starting off already naming things that I wasn't even gonna bring up. You know what I'm saying?
Obi-Wan's also guilty of this too. So he was also not innocent in this situation.
We're gonna be talking about Anakin and whether or not Obi-Wan gave up on him too soon. That's what we're gonna be discussing for sure.
Well, anyways, the point of me bringing this one fault up is because on all my Star Wars shows, I always say #justice for Fives.
Mm-hmm. You have been saying that, and you've been very consistent.
I'm curious, have you watched any Clone Wars?
Yes. I was around that time though. I didn't get like super into it. I did watch a bit of it though. But when I was watching Ahsoka, it became very clear that that was just pretty much like a follow-up to the Clone Wars series, right?
And Rebels.
Yep, and Rebels, for sure.
I'll be honest, I didn't actually start watching Clone Wars until I had Disney Plus, and then I just binged the whole thing.
Hey, savage.
But it's a great show. It was a really great and addicting show. And it just showed, though, the corruption of the Jedi and why Obi-Wan should have known better than to give up on Anakin so quickly. Because I'm just saying, Skywalker, the instant he found out Anakin turned to the dark side, there was no conversation about bringing him back to the good side. There was none of that. The first thing he says is, "Send me to kill the Emperor. I cannot kill Anakin." That is not how a Jedi should be thinking.
He just said, "I can't do it."
But why? But the fact that his first instinct that he thought he had to go and kill Anakin, not bring him to the good side.
After he did what he did to the younglings, do you think that there was any way to bring him back? Honestly,
Yeah, I do. Because if you
I don't
watch
think there
Clone
was.
Wars,
I don't think there was any redemption for him after he did that.
but Anakin has always thought the Jedi Order was corrupt. This is backed up if you in Clone Wars. So the Jedi Order was corrupt in the eyes of many people, not just Anakin Skywalker. You had another Jedi, Barriss, who blew up the temple. So a lot of different perspectives were calling the Jedi out.
Yo, I get it. I totally get it. But at the end of the day, does that mean that Obi-Wan gave up on him early? I don't think that means that.
Yeah, it does, though, because that's the thing. Obi-Wan knew Anakin's backstory. Obi-Wan knew all that. So he knew that when Anakin killed the younglings, he knew that Anakin believed the Order was corrupt and that Anakin had good reason to believe the Order was corrupt.
okay, if I'm gonna give you that, that Obi-Wan felt that Anakin saw the Jedi as evil, from the standpoint of he would go as so far as to murder the younglings, right? I just don't think there's any redemption from that after that has happened. If it would have been something else and he would have came like, yo, Obi-Wan, look, Anakin just turned to the dark side, and yeah, he destroyed some temple, right? But it was nobody in there. I think that he would have went and had a conversation after that. You know what I'm saying? That would have been more in line with something that would have, you know, been left some room for redemption from Anakin. But once he did that to the younglings, it's like, nah, man, all bets is off.
But clearly, Obi-Wan was wrong because look at Return of the Jedi, your favorite Star Wars film, if I'm correct. Darth Vader has done much worse things, including help blow up a planet, and not only that, helped kill Luke's adoptive parents. And yet,
But was
Luke
that
still
immediately
saw.
after? But was it immediately after, or did Luke have to go on a journey? Right? Luke was trying to kill Darth Vader right after that happened.
But he didn't sense the good. He didn't know who Darth Vader was. Darth Vader was just some random guy. It wasn't until he found out he was Anakin Skywalker that Luke realized that there was good in him. Luke felt it, and he was a less trained Jedi than Obi-Wan.
Yeah. I just think that Luke had to go on that journey to get to that point. I think that let's even go back to Empire, right? If Luke would have found out that Vader was his father under different circumstances, like not, you know what I'm saying, after he gets his hand cut off or whatever, right? I think he would have still been trying to kill him.
No, because he even felt it. He said he felt it at that point. He felt that there was good in him. He felt the conflict.
But even then, right? He felt the conflict. That's still not immediately after Vader just did something atrocious. Not immediately.
But was Luke even a good Jedi though in Empire? Was he even a trained Jedi? Obi-Wan was a trained Jedi, whereas Anakin was an inexperienced Padawan.
Yes. But here's the thing. I don't think that Anakin's turn was so quick. I think it was a long process, right? It was a long process ever since he started rocking with the Jedi. I just think that the more that he went on, the more kind of disillusioned that he became. But he just never really seemed like he was at peace with what was going on, because his mom wasn't there, right? He obviously wanted his mom there. And there were some people even trying to like, yo, why didn't the Jedi go take his mom with him? It's like, yo, when you go to training, your mom can't come with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I was in basic training, I couldn't bring my parents, you know?
But here's the thing, though, Skywalker. They could have still saved his mom and at least let Anakin know that his mom was safe and not a slave.
I feel that, but yeah. That is indefensible because they obviously had the funds, you know?
Yeah, and Qui-Gon could have literally bet something else. He could have bet his lightsaber or something else in addition to the pod, to the free shimmy. He could have done that.
I mean, but so should Qui-Gon have like yeah. I think if Qui-Gon lived, they probably would end up getting her back at some point.
Well, Qui-Gon was a better Jedi than Obi-Wan was. I think that's pretty established. And if Qui-Gon was training Anakin, he would not have fallen to the good side because Qui-Gon knew what he was doing, unlike Obi-Wan. And Darth Plato, I'm really glad you brought this up, Darth Plato. I'm actually really glad you brought this up because this is another moment where Obi-Wan effed up. You had Padme reaching out, trying to save Anakin, trying to bring him back to the good side. And I firmly believe she was on her way to bringing him back to the good side, but it wasn't until Anakin saw Obi-Wan on board that Anakin thought that Padme brought Obi-Wan to kill him. So right there, Darth Plato, is when Obi-Wan screwed up any chance Padme had of bringing Anakin back to the good side.
Look, I think that when Obi-Wan was watching what was going down with Padme and Anakin, I think he saw that as like a potential hostage situation. Anakin just murdered the younglings at this point. We cannot forget that. Right? So obviously he's not going to be trusting of Anakin's judgment right now. Right? And let's just put this in like a real world a scenario, right? If she would have went there to go try to convince him, and she would have had like a police officer with her or whatever, right? If the cop is like in the distance, you know what I'm saying, and he gets spotted, can we say, hey, that it's really his fault that the guy still went bad?
Oh, in that case, that was Padme's fault for bringing the cop in the first place.
But she needed the protection. Anakin was not stable. Look, I don't think that he was just gonna go with Padme like that. You know?
Now, unfortunately, I don't, because this was kind of prepared last minute, I didn't have the sources, but according to, now I have to double check this, but according to Star Wars theory, apparently, according to the lore, Anakin actually was about to heed Padme's words until he saw Obi-Wan.
Man, I feel like that's kind of retconning, yo. He didn't look stable to me. He did not look stable to me.
But he didn't even see that. Here's the thing, though. Padme didn't even try to actually plead Anakin back to the good side until the moment that Anakin saw Obi-Wan. So we didn't even get to see Padme's words in action. Yeah, because of Obi-Wan's screw-up, Darth Plato.
Oh my God, nah. Look, Anakin was. Look, I love the entire OG trilogy, and I love the prequel trilogy. I didn't like the first film. I didn't like the Phantom Menace too much. I thought it was kind of boring until the end. Duel of the Fates is an incredible scene, and the pod racing scene is super dope. But outside of that, I just felt like it was a lot of like political stuff going on, and I was just like, man, can we get some Star Wars stuff, right? But with that being said, I think that Anakin's turn, yes, it didn't have to happen, because I have seen that argument that some people think it was kind of destined for him to turn to the bad side. I don't think that is necessarily what happened. I just think that Anakin grew up under some terrible circumstances, you know what I'm saying? But he did have people around him that cared about it. And even though they were doing things that he didn't understand and that he thought like weren't the best for him, I think that at the end of the day, a lot of the things that they were trying to keep from him and tell him to stay away from, it ended up being for a reason, you know?
Yeah, but not a good reason, because again, if you watch Clone Wars, you see the Jedis making bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. The Jedi have never had good judgment with this stuff.
Yeah, hey, I'm not gonna sit here and act like the Jedi are all good and things of that nature, right? Because I do think that is what the Clone Wars tried to do, is that it tried to bring a lot more nuance to the conversation and not just have it be the Jedi are the good guy and the Sith are all like evil. But I do think that when you look at the two situations, right, like, who do you want winning, the Sith You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, Palpatine, right? Did Anakin have to heed the words and listen to the stuff that Palpatine was putting in his ears? I don't think so, Batman.
But hey, at least here's the point though. You say that Anakin was too far gone, right? That's what you said. But to be fair, Anakin was wanted to overthrow Palpatine in the first place. Who,
Mhm.
guess what? Obi-Wan knew was a bad guy at that point. So you say that Anakin was too far gone, but to be fair, he did want to kill the evil Sith Lord.
But why did he want to kill the evil Sith Lord?
To, in his mind, make the galaxy a better place. Right?
By doing what?
Killing an evil Sith Lord.
And doing what after that?
We don't really know, do we?
We do know because he was going to take over. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying,
he was going
right?
to take over and make it a better place for what Anakin's perspective. But right there, I'm not saying Anakin was right, though. I'm saying, though, right there, though, that's a common point that Obi-Wan could have reached out to that he didn't.
But look, at this point back then, he's already killed the younglings, right? So he's already wiping out the Jedi. Now he's about to go try to wipe out the Sith Lord. You know what I'm saying? And then he's gonna be the all-seeing one, right? Or is the most powerful people in the get, right? He was even saying, like, yo, I'm about to take over this shit. So I think that speaks more to my point. He was too far gone at that point because it had already been going on this whole time back then. That's why at the point where he murdered the younglings, it was too late. It was too late. It had already been going. The wheels had been turning for years. For years, this was building up, right? I don't think it was a quick thing. That's why I think it's the Obi Wan didn't give up thing, because it's like, bro, at that point, what could you have done?
He could have tried reaching out to him. He could have tried reasoning with Anakin. But that's the thing. He never tries, not once. See, do you ever play the Star Wars Revenge of the Sith game? The PS2 game?
No, I didn't. I didn't play the Revenge of the Sith game.
If the fight went down the way it did in that game, I would actually agree with you 100% because in that game, Obi-Wan actually does try to turn Anakin to the good side, and Anakin doesn't go for it. But at that point, I can understand Obi-Wan not giving up. It's actually, the Revenge of the Sith game is really cool because it's one of the only Star Wars content that has an alternate ending, because there's two levels that are the exact same thing. One where Obi-Wan fights Anakin, one where Anakin fights Obi-Wan. And the cutscenes play out exactly the same until the end. The Obi-Wan ending is the traditional Revenge of the Sith ending, but in the Anakin ending, Anakin's jump succeeds. He kills Obi-Wan and Palpatine.
Okay.
It's a really cool Star Wars. It's cool because, like, Star Wars needs more what if content, in my opinion. But the point is,
I agree.
hashtag what if they listen to fives? But anyways, the point is, there in that game, you see an example of someone actually trying to help Anakin. He says, Anakin, come back to the light. Face up to what you've done. I can help you. Obi-Wan was willing to help Anakin while still having him receive consequences for his actions.
Bro, he was even trying to get him to stop while they were fighting.
When?
He kept
When
telling him. Bro, he told him to stop before he got he was like, bro, I have the high ground. It's over. Like, stop. And he's like, oh no, you underestimate my power. Right, all that. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Anakin was bugging.
That still doesn't make sense to me. That contradicts episode 1. I'm just saying the high ground thing, I mean.
Oh, like, no. I know what you mean. Right? That's like the only time that like having the high ground was actually not used in a way where they were victorious, right? But no, I really do think that at that point back then, it was already a wrap, dude. Like, he's already murdered the younglings. He's talking kind of crazy to Padme. Then he starts getting aggressive, force chokes her. It's like
because Obi-Wan snuck on board and Anakin saw that.
Look at that. He says,
You don't know that
Anakin
he was
would
already
not kill
talking.
Palpatine unless Padme was
He
dead.
was already talking about doing that before Padme was dead.
He was already hinting at it. Yeah.
And
I
Padme
just think
did-
that.
I say, and Padme did die, and Anakin didn't kill him. So Padme's death probably would have had the exact opposite react.
No,
Exact
I
opposite.
think Anakin. Look, I think Anakin did. You don't think that him force choking her while she was pregnant had anything to do with her passing?
Oh no, I absolutely did, because Obi-Wan snuck on board.
Okay.
But
all right. No, man, no. Anakin has to be responsible for his actions, yo. He force choked Padme. He murdered the younglings. This thing was Thank you, SPR. He's like, yo, there is nothing that could be done.
The point of this discussion, I never said that Anakin shouldn't face consequences for his actions. I still think Anakin needed to face consequences for his actions. That's why I bring up the Revenge of the Sith game, because Obi-Wan was trying to turn Anakin to the good side, but he was still going to face consequences for his actions. That's what needed to happen. I'm just saying that Obi-Wan still could have brought him to the good side, and oh my God, look who we have in the chat. Super Bowl Corey.
What's going on,
Thank you.
Super Bro Corey?
Exactly. Thank you. Padme has been hit with way worse than the Clone Wars. Obi-Wan has seen exactly what Padme has gone through. So
While she was
Obi-Wan
pregnant?
should have had faith. Padme's a strong woman, even when
While
pregnant.
she was pregnant?
I don't care. She was not that far pregnant at that time. Padme was a strong woman, and it didn't need physical strength at that point. It needed emotional strength, which, if anything, her being pregnant was a bigger asset to her trying to turn Anakin good.
Yo, she was about to give birth, and he force choked her.
Yeah, because he thought that Obi-Wan was trying to kill him. Because he thought that Padme betrayed him. But
all because of the fact that he saw Obi-Wan. See, look, here's the thing, right? Why didn't Anakin give Obi-Wan the benefit of the doubt, right? Like, look, I'm not saying that Obi-Wan was like a perfect master, right? Because I don't think anybody is. I don't even think that Yoda would be like a perfect master. You know what I'm saying? Even he,
except Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon was a perfect master.
Perfect though, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
No, I would
like,
say
he would have been much more suited that for Anakin. But even if Qui-Gon, look, we don't even know. What if Qui-Gon being there would have yielded the same result? We don't know. We don't know.
There's no, but I do know that Qui-Gon would not have given up on Anakin. Obi-Wan did. Right. And also, here's the thing too. You say that why didn't Anakin give Obi-Wan the benefit of the doubt?
Qui-Gon might have died. Anakin might have killed Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon would have reached out to Anakin, but my point is that Anakin was powerful in the Force. Anakin can sense what Obi-Wan wanted to do. See, if Qui-Gon had come on board, Anakin would have sensed the feeling that Qui-Gon wanted to redeem Anakin. Whereas with Obi-Wan, Anakin sensed that Obi-Wan's intention was to 100% kill him.
Look, I think that if you go back and if you look, right, I don't think Obi-Wan wanted to kill Anakin. He even said as much.
Yeah. And then when Yoda told him that he was not strong enough to fight the Emperor, Obi-Wan didn't even argue that. When Padme asked Obi-Wan, "You're going to kill him, are you?" All Obi-Wan says is, "He has become a very great threat." He didn't say, "No, I'm going to try to bring him back to the good side." Even in that dialogue, Obi-Wan never had the intention of turning Anakin good. Because here's the thing, Skywalker. People bring up the Force choking of Padme, but Obi-Wan had the intention to kill Anakin before he even saw Anakin do that.
I don't even think, look, that answer didn't mean to me that he was going to kill him for sure. That answer to me hit me as if he was weighing what he was going to have to do, because all possibilities had to be on the table before you go into the situation, right? It's kind of like with Rebel Moon, right? When General Titus says before, like, hey, you can't go into battle without knowing that I'm never going to surrender. Like, you have to know that. Just because they have to weigh whether or not they really want to follow this dude, right? I think that in that moment when she said, hey, you're going to kill him, aren't you? And he's like, he has become a very great threat. Did his action, damn what he said, did his actions to you say that he went there with the express intent of killing Anakin? Because to me, it didn't. He was still calling him his brother. You know
He
what I'm
called him his
saying?
brother afterwards.
Right? And he was trying. He's like, yo, I got the high ground. Stop this. Right? And this is madness. Or, you know what I'm saying?
He
Like,
gave him a chance to surrender, but...
right. So, exactly. So if he gave him a chance to surrender, that means that he didn't go there to kill him.
Not necessarily. He didn't try to turn Anakin good. He didn't try to turn him good. That's the thing.
Because he went there
already.
to arrest him.
He didn't try to turn him good.
He went there to arrest him or to take him out. Either way, he was like, bro, this dude is a threat. I got to either grab him or I got to take him out.
And also, too, he didn't necessarily go there to surrender. He didn't get Anakin the chance to surrender. For all you know, no, he might have let Anakin get away. We don't know what his intentions were. He might have Anakin could have easily gone off and been like, okay, bye, and forced his platform away. I can't.
Gave up when Obi-Wan told him to. He's like, bro, I got the high ground. Give up. He warned him. He's like, bro,
yeah, he warned that he couldn't. He warned him that he couldn't beat him. That's all. He didn't. That's all.
So he's saying, lay down your sword, lay down your saber.
No, he said, "I'll do what I must."
Thank you, Darth Plato. Yes, I'll do what I.
And Obi-Wan said he'll do what he must. He was going to kill him.
No, which means he'll do whatever it takes to subdue Anakin. He's like, yo, if I go there and he lays down his saber, he can come with me, right? If I go and I can, or if I have to fight him and then subdue him and then take him with me, or if I gotta kill him. But whatever happens, he needs to either come with me or he has to be taken out.
Okay, well, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question for you then, Skywalker.
Yes, sir.
Obi-Wan cut off Anakin's arms and legs. He did that. He had Anakin subdued. If he was really interested in just arresting Anakin, he could have easily picked him up before the lava got to him, and he could have taken him back to Coruscant.
And here's the thing. I think that at that point, look, here is where I'm gonna say that I have no more, because I think Anakin, at the point where he warned him, like, bro, I got the high ground, don't do this. When Anakin tried to kill him again after that, I think that's when it was truly like over.
No, they were in a battle. And at that point, they were already in a battle.
No. I mean, like, that's when he really gave up, in my opinion.
Oh, you're saying that's when Obi-Wan...
That's when he gave up. Was like, bro, I got you beat. you know, it's over, woo doo doo woo, and you still try to take me out on top of that? And it's like, dude,
Because
okay.
Anakin saw Phantom Menace, so he knew that the high ground was bullshit.
Nah,
It was
nah,
only
nah,
bad
nah, nah.
writing that saved Obi-Wan.
Hey,
But I'm
no.
just saying, Obi-Wan had the opportunity to save Anakin, though. After that, when he cut off his limbs, Anakin was subdued. He wasn't dead yet. And from as far as Obi-Wan knew, I'm talking about as far as
Yeah.
Obi-Wan knew, he was not dead yet. He
Yeah.
easily could have saved Anakin before the
No.
lava got to him. But what
That's
did
when
he
Anakin
do?
died. That's when Anakin died to him.
Obi-Wan could have saved Anakin. He could have said, hey, look, I still care about you. Despite everything that's happened, I'm still your brother, and I'm still going to save you. Obi-Wan had the perfect opportunity to turn Anakin good without Anakin being a threat whatsoever. And he didn't take it.
Anakin
Instead,
died. Anakin died right there. Anakin died when he had the high ground. You know what I'm saying? And
No, because
he tried to
Anakin
kill
and
him
Obi-Wan,
anyway.
when you're in war, you don't stop till the other person is subdued. Obi-Wan was not subdued, so Anakin would not stop.
But Anakin, but that's my point. So if anything, Anakin was the one that really was gonna. Look, Anakin was more prepared to kill Obi-Wan than Obi-Wan was prepared to kill Anakin. That is a fact.
Yeah, because Obi-Wan was a corrupt Jedi as far as Anakin knew. Anakin believed the Jedi were evil. Anakin even says, from my point of view, the Jedi were evil. This told Obi-Wan exactly what he needed to do to prove Anakin wrong. If Obi-Wan had saved Anakin after he was subdued, this would have proved to Anakin, no, the Jedi are not evil. But instead, Obi-Wan let Anakin die in a very painful way. Because I wanna bring a comment up right here that I can see. Oh, okay, but then if Obi-Wan was really this good Jedi, then why did he let Anakin suffer? If Obi-Wan wanted to kill Anakin, he could have cut off his head and done a quick, painless death. But instead, Obi-Wan let Anakin suffer a slow and painful death, only reinforcing Anakin's point that the Jedi are corrupt, that the Jedi are evil.
No. No, hold up. Put that comment back up there, Bad Dan, because this is a great point. Here's the thing. Obi-Wan left him to the same fates that Anakin put those younglings through. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro,
Fast death versus a slow and painful death.
But we don't know what happened.
We saw the hologram. They were literally fighting with lightsaber.
Hey, Obi-Wan got Anakin got less than what he deserved.
He was burning.
I probably would have left him too. Yo, look, once I tell you, like, bro, it's over. We done already fought it out. The battle's done. I clearly have the high ground. It's over. It's a wrap. Like, it's checkmate. And you still try to take me out?
Yeah, because they're in a war. They are both determined to beat the other opponent. That's how you do in a duel. That's how you fight in war.
Obi-Wan went there to subdue and or arrest.
And he had the chance to. He beat him without killing him. His limbs were cut off, but he could have easily pulled him off before he fell into the fire. But he did not
taking
do
a
that.
torso in for us to have your torso serve the
Star Wars. You can literally give people robotic arms and legs. This is common in the Star Wars universe.
I feel it, but Obi-Wan was like, I'm not doing all that. You deserve to die right here. This is your consequence.
So then I'm confused. So you said that Anakin deserved to die. So that means that Obi-Wan wasn't giving Anakin the chance to surrender.
I'm saying that he deserved what he got after the high ground incident. That
is not the line that Anakin crossed to make him unredeemable.
No, I'm saying in Obi-Wan's eyes. Look, see, that's what I'm saying.
Because he let Anakin burn a slow and painful death. I would
But
hate
that
him
was
too.
before. That was before he.
Anakin said, "I hate you," as he was burning.
Wasn't that right before he caught on fire?
Yeah, well, then it was too late though. It's kind of hard to
Yeah,
time it.
it
His
was
legs were
still
kind of caught on fire,
he
and he
was
was
a
kind of burning
torso.
at the arms and legs. It's still a head. That's still a life. And robotic in the Star Wars universe, that's
I feel it.
nothing. This isn't our real world. They had robotic limbs that could replace all those parts.
Look, I'm just saying, if I'm Obi-Wan, I'm not taking any more time out to try to save this guy after everything that he's done. After everything that this guy has done, I don't know if I'm taking more time out, especially after you're just a torso.
So I'm confused then. So after everything Anakin has done, so what you're saying is that he did go to kill Anakin. He did try to kill him then.
No, I'm saying that Anakin made the decision how far that it was going to go by his actions.
By trying to win the battle, by trying to win the duel.
Right? So just think about this. If Anakin would have not fought Obi-Wan and just went, right? Like, let's put to the side what was going on from his perspective. Let's just take it from Obi-Wan's perspective, right? If Anakin would have surrendered as soon as he got there, would Obi-Wan have taken him in?
If Anakin surrendered, possibly, yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah, we don't know though, because Obi-Wan went
Oh
with the
my
intention to
God.
kill him. He
So
gave up
Obi-Wan
on
just would have
Anakin.
murdered him?
Yeah. I mean, he let Anakin burn to death when he could have taken him in.
Bro, he didn't even want to fight him in the beginning.
He didn't go there to try to turn him good, though. He immediately went in with the intention to kill him. He immediately went to fight Anakin. He didn't try to reason with Anakin.
Bro, he was like, look, man, you got to come with me.
No, he never said that to Anakin.
You got it. No, but that's what his actions said back then. He's like, yo,
No,
you got to come with me. You over there force choking Padme.
Because I snuck on board when Padme could have reached out to you.
You got the Sith eyes, right? You just murdered these younglings.
Because he knew the Jedi Order was corrupt, because he knew Anakin thought that through the years working with Anakin. The thing is, Obi-Wan and Anakin
So the
knew the
younglings gotta
history.
die?
The Jedi are corrupt. Unfortunately, they're part of the Jedi Order.
That's, man. So we're gonna Thanos this situation, right? Or like baby Thanos this, right? But we don't know if they're all gonna become Thanos.
Anakin couldn't take that chance. He had to exterminate the Order. He had to think about what was in his eyes the greater good.
But was that in fact what actually was the greater good back then?
In Anakin's perspective, yes.
But
I'm not saying that Anakin was
from the
completely right.
perspective of everybody else.
I'm not saying that Anakin was completely right. What I am saying is that Obi-Wan gave up on Anakin. But my point is, there was good in Anakin through his intentions. There were good ways. There was good in him to reach out. Even Padme knew that after he force choked him, or her. After Padme force choked her, she still said there was good in Anakin. And I'm just going to warn you guys right now. I'm seeing lights flickering in my apartment and it's storming, so I may be cut off. So hopefully not, but we'll see.
Sure.
And what up, Zod Rider?
What's going on? What's going on?
Hopefully you're the real Zod Rider this time, because I know, Sky, you had a bit of an issue with that.
Hey, we got him up out of there pretty quickly, though. You know what I'm saying? Facts.
Yep.
Ain't even
exactly. We take care of the imposters.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like there is no way that I'm blaming Obi-Wan for all this, show. There's just no way. Like at that point, I think Anakin was too far gone. But as I surmised earlier, I think if he would have surrendered from the jump, none of that would have happened. None of it would have happened. And we have to place accountability somewhere. I just think that, as somebody pointed out earlier, so yo, Obi-Wan was struggling between his duty to stop Anakin and his loyalty to his apprentice and friend, his brother. Exactly. You don't think that Obi-Wan was conflicted back then?
I think he was at first, but he got over it pretty quickly.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, yo, look. Like, I don't think that he was I said this earlier. He isn't the perfect master, right? And I don't think anybody is, right? I think everybody has their flaws, right? As old boy pointed out, didn't Qui-Gon
where are we?
He was like, didn't Qui-Gon fail Count Dooku? Right?
Where I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the comment to
Yeah. But
that's a good point, Super Roll Corey. I love your point right here.
His master, the Jedi. Hey, look, listen, right? Because
Darth Plato. Okay, keep talking.
It's never about having a perfect master, right? Like, I always go back to when I was in basic training. Did I have like perfect drill sergeants? Like, no. You know what I'm saying? But they did their jobs in order to give me the proper foundation that I needed to handle a lot of these situations. Maybe even any situation that I could find myself in, right? I had that great foundation of information and things like that. So I look at the same thing with Anakin. Did Anakin have a great foundation with his training? Yes, right? Are there some things that Obi-Wan did that could have been done better? Absolutely.
They literally sold out his apprentice. They sold out Anakin's apprentice, including Obi-Wan.
Right? Oh, you talk about Ahsoka, right?
Yeah, they sold her out. The entire council sold her out, and when push came to shove, they could have admitted they were wrong, and I kind of blame Mace Windu for this too, because Mace Windu is a dick. I'm just going to be brutally honest. But anyways, the Jedi didn't take accountability for their mistakes. Instead, they're like, it was the Force's test. Yeah, the Force did the test. We're not at fault at all.
I understand all that. And institutions can betray people, but there still lies that accountability for your own personal actions, right? Like, I can feel whatever I feel personally about the institution of the military, right? I could feel like, it's some evil stuff going on here, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But that don't mean that I just get carte blanche to just do whatever I feel to dismantle the entire organization, even if that means murdering what may or may not be innocent people. You know what I'm saying?
And again, since I'm not a soldier, I can't totally speak on that perspective. But again, I'm not saying that Anakin
stuff that
should
I
not face
have to do that I felt like was wrong back then, and that they did was wrong. You get what I'm saying? But I can't be like, oh yeah, but everybody here is evil, and so that means I get to go, go murder the trainees in their sleep.
I'm not saying that Anakin should not face consequences. I'm not saying that Anakin should not be held accountable. I have a saying, Skywalker: one party's guilt does not equal another party's innocence.
No, I feel that, and like, because I try to put myself in the shoes of like being like a squad leader, because I've done that, right? So, I've been in a situation that Obi-Wan has been in where it's like, yo, you may feel like, you know what I'm saying, you got to do something because your soldier, has really just gone astray. And if one of my soldiers had gone that astray back then, it would have been the same thing. Like, I would have pulled up with a serious, aggressive tone too. Like, I gotta stop you no matter what. Like,
Okay, Sky.
whether
I
that
have
means
one.
arresting you or going a little bit further. But go ahead.
They say constantly, Skywalker, that the Jedi are not soldiers, that the Jedi are in fact peacekeepers. This is a common thing the Jedi in fact say. So they are not actually soldiers. So they're not supposed to have the same guidelines that a soldier has.
No, I understand that, but I just mean, look, that kind of relationship, it just crosses all boundaries. So it's not really like a military thing. It's the same thing like being a manager or at like a job or like a supervisor, right? Or being a trainee or an apprentice and somebody that's a master or like a professional, right? It would be the same thing where you are entrusted with this person's future, you are entrusted with this person's foundation for what they're gonna be, going forward, right? And just like in all these other facets of life, there was that structure there with the Jedi system where it's like, hey, there is a ranking structure where things go up, you got things that go down, you got apprentices, masters, knights, all that stuff. So there's that similar rank structure there, but it's still that thing of just that relationship between a master and an apprentice where you are entrusted with this person's foundation for how they're going to be in any given way of life just going forward. So yeah, it's not the same, but there are similarities there. And it would be the same thing because I train a lot of people at my job, right? If it was somebody that I trained and I gave a foundation to and I did everything that I could, and I might not be perfect, but if they came back and was trying to do like some heinous stuff, I would be on the same type of energy. That's all that I'm saying.
Okay, fair enough. But I'm still saying the Jedi are supposed to still have a different philosophy, a different approach than to what a soldier does. That's according to their own words. That's all I'm saying. And again, I'm not make no mistake. I'm not saying that Anakin should not be held accountable for his actions, that he shouldn't have been punished. All I'm saying is that Obi-Wan didn't do the right thing. He didn't try to turn Anakin good. And also, too, he had the chance to arrest Anakin, but he just assumed Anakin died. He did that stupid thing where you leave, where it's like, in those old spy movies where the villain leaves and the hero is falling down the unnecessarily slow death trap. That's basically what Obi-Wan was in that scene. He was basically
that was a little bit different back then. That was a little bit different than the James Bond villain where I'm gonna leave the device on and walk out of the room. That was a little bit different. He had cut several of his limbs off, and he was hacked in half and was burning in lava.
Okay, so Skywalker, I have a very special surprise for you.
Uh-huh.
I asked someone else. I have a surprise guest for this panel. You know him. He's your favorite ham Smith. Please welcome as I bring on Super Bro Corey. How are you, man?
I'm about to get jumped.
You're about to get jumped, big fella.
Get jumped right now.
You're about to get jumped. Hey, what's up, Sky? What's up, Bad Dan? Bad Dan, thank you so much for asking me to surprise guest tonight. If you recall, Skywalker, me and Trey had a very similar debate where I got jumped. Do you remember that, big fella?
Yeah, fair point. And that was less people.
I forgot about that, but then now it immediately came back as soon as you brought
now I'm pulling up.
Okay, Super Bro Core. Nothing. We're just having a really fun discussion, and the discussion that I know we've all been waiting for a while on this channel, and now So, Super Bowl Corey, how much of this discussion have you seen?
Honestly, I was at work, so I was kind of catching bits and pieces here and there. You guys both had some great, arguments and debates going back and forth. Sky was making a lot of great points, and so were you, Bat Dan. And I've kept this evidence, one should say, for a long time now, for almost a year, because I've been trying to get Trey to debate me one more time about this, because some new evidence has popped up over the past year, and it's really going to be the thing that drives the knife, into the case of the fact that Obi-Wan didn't give up. That's complete BS. He definitely gave up. I guess should we just jump right into it?
Go ahead. I have no idea what this is. So
yeah. So, do you guys respect another big Star Wars channel out there? Maybe Star Wars Theory, one would say.
Yeah, I respect him.
Yeah, reliable source and everything like that. Well, last year, June 27th, 2023, he made a video that says George Lucas just said what about Obi Wan Kenobi. And boy, was that a fire video. Am I still there? Did I just lag out?
We can hear you.
Okay,
we heard
your video just froze.
I'm lagging a little bit. Yeah, the weather is kind of crazy here as well too. He made a video, and it's interesting. It actually brings up the case from George Lucas himself that I believe it was an article in September 7th, 1996. George Lucas admitted that Obi-Wan is the sole and responsible party for not just the downfall of the Jedi, the downfall of the Council, the downfall of Anakin, and the way things, took place after that. And it all goes back to his inability to train Anakin properly, which ultimately led to the downfall of the entire Republic. George Lucas admitted that himself, that Obi-Wan is the one who was the downfall of all that. It wasn't a special that George Lucas brought out and everything like that, but some of the things that they kind of really dived in was specifically, obviously, the training. Kind of get to the very first point. Obviously, Qui-Gon wanted to train him, right? At episode 1, what was Obi-Wan's current rank within the system?
Padawan.
Exactly. Yes, sir. He was a Padawan apprentice of Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn. Yes, he killed he defeated Darth Maul, but they're going to take him and they're going to jump him up to a master, put him on the council, and start training Anakin. Yes, he's doing it out of spite of what the council wants, but the council probably shouldn't have allowed Obi-Wan to do it. He probably would have been better if he was trained by, kind of a joint group of people.
That's why this is what, Corey, that's kind of why this kind of don't make no sense, because the council was the one that chose a Padawan to train the most powerful person in the galaxy.
Mm-hmm. And so, but they thought that Obi-Wan would stay true to what he's been seeing, what his actions were before, right? Obi-Wan was very on the council side, very big rule follower, right? I would say he was a rule follower. Yet he knew about Anakin and Padme. He knew things that wasn't protocol with the Jedi. So he was playing this kind of ugly, trying to make Anakin happy, trying to, stick with the council and everything like that. So his inability to train Anakin properly was a huge portion of the downfall to him. So in reality, Obi-Wan's at fault for the downfall of the Republic, downfall of the Council, and downfall of Anakin Skywalker. And if we kind of skip forward, I do think that there was some chances to kind of bring Anakin back, especially in Obi-Wan, where it looks like his eyes were kind of changing off of that Sith yellow to kind of old Anakin eyes when he was like going back and forth and everything like that. But man, I with George Lucas himself saying that Obi-Wan's responsible for Anakin's fall, that's pretty big evidence right there, big fella.
I would have to agree with Super Bowl Corey. And
I'll
if you
post
do me
a link in the description if you want.
Yeah,
thank you.
That's actually what I was about
just
to
found
ask
a video.
you.
Yeah, I just found a video. As soon as you brought it up, I was like, yo, I gotta go put this on my watch later list for sure.
Absolutely.
Right? No,
so
look,
there's been numerous stuff coming out about Obi-Wan being a major proponent and person at fault for the demise of Anakin.
Exactly.
Look,
well said. I was going to say, well said, Super Bowl Corey. Go on, Skywalker.
Yeah, because look, I love George Lucas and I see what he's going for, but I think even within his own argument, it defeats itself. Because look, if I say, hey, there's this newer person, look, there's another apprentice. Let's say that I'm a master or I'm the professional that I am, and I say, hey, there's this newer employee, this newer trainee who I got all of the highest prospects for, and I think that they're gonna turn out it'd be A1 fantastic. And I say, hey, I want to put them in a management position to train people, even though they are fresh, right? If that person then goes and does not train people properly, I can't go and put the blame on them and say, yo, you didn't do this properly when you were just thrust into a position that you really shouldn't even have been in the first place, right? Obi-Wan was trying to do the best for what he thought that Anakin needed. If anything, even with George Lucas's own words, what that says to me is that he should have cracked down on him more and had him not be around Padme, not do some of these things that he was doing. But how do we think that would have gone, right? Like, if anything, I think him meeting Padme actually kind of delayed him going over to the dark side. I think if she's not there, it's just sped up, all these things, right? They also weren't gonna go save his mom, obviously, right? So
Which
I
they
just
could have
think
done.
that,
Which they could have done, but they just didn't.
But that's still not Obi-Wan's fault. That's my point. Like, if anything, I think them kind of having him stick to the rules like all the other Jedi had been doing, it only would have sped up his turn to the dark side.
But let me put like this in a sports way. You have somebody like LeBron James on your team. You have somebody like Michael Jordan on your team. You have these big players, big player, the one Jedi to change everything, the one that the prophecies have been talking about. You probably should be changing the way you move and the way you coach your team to, kind of get this player his spotlight, right? You're gonna feed the ball to LeBron James. You're gonna feed the ball to Jordan. You're gonna feed the ball to your star player, and you're gonna try to make him the focus point, the asset. Build some people around him. Different things like that to get an awesome team going. That they didn't do that with Anakin. Anakin is the chosen one, and they failed him on all accounts. Now, how well did Obi-Wan advocate for Anakin? I don't know. It seemed to me like he was kind of brushing stuff under the rug, and then kind of playing like, oh, we all good in front of the council and everything like that. So,
which would point to him trying to give him a little bit more leeway, than the other Jedi had.
Well,
right?
I'm saying that they probably should have like changed the script altogether. Like, okay, Yoda, I just want to let you know,
but they weren't going to do
Anakin
that.
and Padme have been hooking up in the back of the spaceship. I know it. I've been, force sensing it. I feel it going on. I feel a disturbance in the back of the van right now. And just wanted to bring this to your attention, Master Yoda. And then they'd be like, we need to get the council all together. We need to talk about this and be like, you know what? Maybe we should all have wives and kids and such like that, Then we could just, take Bronny Jr. now. Now we're going to take Anakin Jr., little Luke, and build him up into an awesome, Jedi Master.
Yeah, because actually, I love what you said, Super Bowl Corey, because part of the problem was the fact that Anakin had to keep it a secret. That was a big part of the problem, because if Anakin had those visions and was able to tell Jedi like Yoda, Mace, and even Obi-Wan, they could have helped Anakin through it.
But Obi-Wan knew. See, that's my thing. Obi-Wan knew. The other ones, they were the ones that was going to be tripping. That's why it's like, if anything, this was a failure from like the people that put Anakin in Obi-Wan's charge. If you're going to do that, it has to be with somebody that is, look, this is like putting LeBron with a rookie coach. When he's a rookie, why would you do that? Like, nobody would do that. And then if LeBron fails, you don't put it on the rookie coach and be like, oh man, it was the rookie coach's fault that Bron didn't get to his full potential. Like, no, blame the person that put the rookie coach with him, if anything.
Sure, we could absolutely.
I have a whole video about blaming Mace Windu, actually. But Skywalker, that's a fair point that you said, is that Obi-Wan never should have put in that position. But for better or for worse, for right or wrong, whether fair or unfair, Obi-Wan was put in that situation. For better or for worse,
he did what he could. I feel like he did the best he could have done.
Actually, Obi-Wan doesn't even feel that way.
I respect that.
Obi-Wan
in the time. Yeah, look, hindsight is always 20/20.
Sure.
Hindsight is always 20/20. You can always look back and say, hey, this is where I messed up. Could have gone better here. But he did a lot. He was covering for him. You know what I'm saying? He trained him to the best of his ability, right? It was the Jedi Council that was really holding him back in a lot of different scenarios, right? And I just feel like
could have empathized with Anakin more in that, but he didn't. He was always trying to tell him, like, Council's right, go Council. He was,
because what are you gonna do?
But here's the thing: he was covering for Anakin too much. You can't be playing both sides. Like he was totally like, oh, we're going to keep this under wraps, but we need to follow what the council says and do what they want us to do. But I know what you're doing behind the council's back and my back. I know what's going on.
Yeah, so clean it up.
And you kind of see me, in the Clone Wars, I'm kind of fooling around with some people too, maybe a little bit, like
not just Satine.
Exactly. So like I'm going to get a little taste as well. So it's like clearly they needed to grow as they were trying to stay with these old ways, and they weren't growing as a republic. And because of that, and because of Obi-Wan showing it's okay to have a lie, we don't have to tell the council everything. Look what happens. That lie kept getting bigger and bigger. They're getting married, they're having kids, and now he's going to do everything that he can to try to save the kids. Now, if they had an open line of communication and they were talking back and forth, and they're like, "Hey, Anakin, what's going on today? Ooh, I keep having these dreams and nightmares of Padme dying and my kids being killed and everything like that." And let's figure that shit out for you. Let's get you the help that you need.
maybe though that's why he wasn't supposed to be in love and stuff like that, right? That's my thing. Like, if anything is at fault of what Obi-Wan did, he was supposed to tell on Anakin earlier, and then maybe this would have gone differently, and I still think Anakin would have gone to the dark side, but it probably would have just been sped up a little bit because he had too much fear in him, yo. Fear is the mind killer.
Mm-hmm. But would you say that since we know, like we have the, yes, there's hindsight, but we have the ability to know that Anakin was still in Darth Vader. Luke brought him back, sure. But if Luke was able to bring him back, Obi Wan Kenobi probably could have brought him back as well.
No,
exactly.
Luke is his son. It's
Obi-Wan was his brother.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still a different relationship when it's your son.
No, they were family. Blood is more. Family's not just blood. They were family.
They never met, Scott. They never met. Like, oh, cool, you my son. I haven't talked to you ever.
But still,
yeah,
it was his son. Yeah.
And there's one point I also want to make too. In my intro that played, you even see it. Obi-Wan, by his own admission, gave up on Anakin. He said, "I have failed you." Obi-Wan's words. Obi-Wan's words.
I failed you. No, I don't think that means that he gave up. He said, "I failed you" in terms of like, I didn't do the best job as your master, which I said from the jump. But he was a rookie master.
But that's how Obi-Wan knew he should have been able to turn Anakin to the good side. Because he knew he failed Anakin. He could have used that to turn him good.
I think
he could have said, "I'm sorry, I screwed up.
Already too late, but shit, I realized what I've done." I think that's what that was.
I'm sorry, were you going to say something, Corey?
I'm going to look at something up real quick. Go for it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Obi-Wan did take responsibility. He's even admitting that, though. And yes, Geek Defense Initiative, I want to make this abundantly clear. I've never at all said that no one is that Anakin is in it. I mean, I stand with Anakin Skywalker is more of like a trolling of Skywalker, the troll of Skywalker. But like in terms of my serious aspect of this debate, there are plenty of people at fault, including Anakin Skywalker himself. But at the end of the day, Obi-Wan gave up on Anakin because he never tried to turn Anakin good. In terms of familial relationships, in terms of how close they actually were, Obi-Wan was more family to Anakin than Luke was. Because, and I'm going to be honest, Luke Skywalker is kind of a sadistic. He didn't care when when I say his real parents, I mean the ones who raised him. He didn't give a shit when his parents died, for crying out loud. So I don't really like to go off Luke Skywalker. So even if a sadistic guy like that can turn his... No, he didn't. He barely talks about them afterwards. It's kind of like he looks away for a second and he's like, but I don't want to get too far into that because that's a whole separate debate. So,
but the thing that, like really brings it home for me as well is literally the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. And when the Anakin and Vader's eyes were changing, they were that Sith yellow. And then, when he was kind of talking like Anakin, they weren't as that Sith yellow. They weren't bright like that. So was Obi-Wan saying some things that was conflicting to Anakin, and not, obviously it was. If his eyes are changing intensity, they weren't that, that deep, yellow bloodshot eyes that we saw the entire time, when he was, turning into Darth Vader. So like there was some flexing there. They're like that part to me is an interesting top point as well.
But Corey, look at how long that was after, like, that's my point too. In that moment, Anakin was too far gone, right?
You think so?
But he had time to cool down. You made an argument earlier, Skywalker, that it happened too recently. So at that time, Obi-Wan had a lot more time to reflect on what actually happened. So if
Yeah,
anything, that should have made it a lot
and Vader
easier to turn him good.
And Vader was still like, look, he ended off that conversation, Corey, when his eyes was transferring back and forth. He ended it off with the Sith eyes, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
and
he
was
definitely...
and was like, Vader is or not, or he said Anakin's dead or something, right? Or Anakin, he made some kind of statement.
Anakin could have said, "No, he's not. I sense it in him," but he didn't do that.
But then we could say that Obi-Wan gave up on his mission when he fought Darth Vader once again. He was supposed to kill him that time, and he said he was going to kill him.
So Obi-Wan gave up twice. So that's what I'm saying. Obi-Wan gave up twice.
Look,
okay,
so
that is...
if anything, that's even more. He never wanted to kill him. I've been trying to tell this to Pat Dan this whole time. He never.
But he wanted to kill him in Revenge of the Sith. He let Anakin die. The Obi-Wan in Revenge of the Sith and the Obi-Wan in the Obi-Wan series are two different Obi-Wans. They're not the same Obi-Wan.
No, I agree. But I don't think he wanted to kill him in Revenge of the Sith.
He left him to die, though. But my biggest issue, though, is he had the opportunity, though. It's kind of what I said. He could have saved Anakin after he cut off his arms and legs, and he could have said, "No, we're not all evil." He could have taken Anakin in to stand trial, or I guess whatever secret Jedi prison they would have taken him to, since the Senate was corrupt. But the point was, he had the chance to save Anakin.
But so look at... Yeah, keep going, Beth. You're right there, buddy.
So we're going to have to kind of go... Actually, you make your point, Super Bowl, Corey, because we do have to wrap this up kind of soon.
Sure, yeah, but like to add it on, like, it's tough for them to kill. It was tough for him to kill Anakin, but let's go back to the first fight when he chops off the legs. He has the high ground and all that stuff. He should have killed him there. We all know that. We should have killed him there, because he then sees what Anakin and Vader does to the entire the Empire world. That he's killing people on the reg. He's finding out the old Jedis and killing them. So on the second time, knowing all the people that, not just the younglings this time, all the people that Vader has been, murking and murdering and everything like that, then if he believed that there was no way to change him, he absolutely had the duty and the need to take out Vader there. Now, obviously they can't in retcon stuff and everything like that. I get it. But that should have happened. That should have happened for sure.
Yeah, it has to make sense in universe, though, when we argue this stuff. Like, obviously, yeah, Obi-Wan couldn't kill Anakin in Revenge of the Sith or Obi-Wan because of the original trilogy. But story-wise, it really didn't make sense that Obi-Wan didn't do either arrest Anakin or kill him in Revenge of the Sith or kill Anakin in Obi-Wan series. Obi-Wan gave up, then that's what I'm saying now, Necron, is that we have... Like, when we're arguing the character's choices, we have to argue it making sense within the story, not necessarily to set up the original trilogy, because that's what a good prequel does. It has to make sense within the story, like Better Call Saul. That's probably what I call a perfect prequel, in my opinion. But I guess, anyways, so I think the fate kind of ended how I thought it would, kind of as a standstill where we're both... But you know what? It's good in some ways. It shows that despite everything, we have different opinions, but we still had a great discussion, and we have
100%.
And I guess Skywalker, any final remarks you want to make?
Look, I just want to say this in defense of my boy Obi-Wan leaving Anakin on Mustafar, yo. He thought he was dead, yo. He 100% thought he was dead. He was hacked in half and on fire when he was walking away. So
should have learned from his mistake with Darth Maul.
Hey, I get why. Hey, but they didn't even know Darth Maul was still alive at that point.
Oh no, right? He knew at that point. Clone Wars takes place between 2 and 3. He knew at that point.
Obi-Wan has a hard time like killing really anything. He constantly like whacking away and like they live. Which is a whole nother issue with Star Wars, especially this poke and I'm still alive with a lightsaber. But I see what you're saying, Sky.
Hey, I would rather them lose limbs and still be alive than get ran through like fucking Sabine did. That was
right.
Crazy. That was the worst one ever. Was when Sabine and Reva both got ran through.
Right.
Well, to be fair, Sabine was stabbed in the right side of the stomach, in the side where the arteries aren't, whereas Qui-Gon was stabbed in the middle.
Bruh, hey, that lightsaber is so hot. It should have cooked her organs.
Yeah,
internally.
Exactly. If he's putting it into the steel door and it's like molten lava coming out in that quick of time, you're toast, bro.
Yeah, like it can melt down a vault door. You know what I'm saying? But can't melt no organs. That's crazy. But
right?
Yeah. Look, just in closing, I understand why Obi-Wan in that moment, felt that, hey, there's nothing that I can do for this dude. I've already given a whole bunch, and he took what I gave him and made the worst choice that he could possibly, the worst choice ever, right? It's like, yo, and also in that moment, like, you're responsible for trying to bring down the Jedi, and it's Order 66 and all that, right? It's like, yo, there was a lot going on. And I just think that you can't expect your training to always be perfect. You can't expect your coaching to always be perfect. But at the end of the day, it just kind of falls upon like what you do as an individual, and then also with the mistakes that were made on behalf of the Jedi Council, just in general. I don't think that can be overstated as well, because like, it was just time after time, bad choice after bad choice. And then when things didn't go well, it's like, now we want to pin it all on one person, when it was really like a collective of bad decisions from the jump.
Exactly. And just so you know, people, we can't always, we have to kind of go with what's officially canon right now, for better or for worse. Because if we argue about canon too much, then that's just gonna go into a whole different set of arguments right there. I'm saying that because I know the chat's trying to, personally, I don't consider the sequels canon, but for these debates, we kind of have to treat them as canon. But
hey, episode 8 is definitely canon, and that's when I'm like, yo, you guys can fucking kiss my ass.
As for better or for worse. But again, I thought this was a really great stream. I think we both had great points, and I think for what I like about this, we can really understand each other's points a lot better, and that's what a good debate should do. I see a lot of Skywalker.
Shout out to Super Bro Corey popping in here too with the surprise guest appearance.
It was only fair after what happened to Super Bro Corey on the Bat channel. Obi Wan Gave Up stream, so
I think it was a good stream you guys had today. I think you guys actually did find some common ground, obviously Sky is saying that the council messed up, and Obi wasn't, the best trainer and everything like that. So he's admitting to that there's some fault, so I appreciate that. Obviously he's not going to put the entire blame on him. I just have to go with what the man George Lucas said in the Paul Duncan Star Wars archives, that, right from him, that, Obi-Wan's inability to train Anakin properly led to the entire downfall of the Republic. That's all I can go on. So I think like
mic drop, what I'm saying?
If I was to, be honest with myself, obviously Trey's a big Obi Wan Kenobi guy, and I've always been an Anakin guy. So I like to maybe put a little bit more blame, or kind of get him a little bit more riled up at Skywalker and some of the others on the panel so clearly recognized during that stream, that I like to, kind of give my brother a little bit of shit. And Yeah, but after that stream, I found out about that Star Wars Theory link and watched it. And I'm, who I'm going to give a shout out to? I'm going to give a shout out to Retro Nerd Girl, because Retro Nerd Girl about a year ago is the one that sent me those links to watch and see that George Lucas himself actually said Obi Wan gave up too soon. So not those words exactly, but he is the reason for the downfall of everything. So definitely check out that link. It's an interesting watch. Goes back to the Paul Duncan Star Wars archive. So it's a really cool listen. And I think it's going to be awesome to, continue, the debate. And it's a fun one to talk about. That's for sure. Star Wars theories, Star Wars topic is a fascinating topic. And it's a blast. And I can't thank you enough, Dan, for letting me be a surprise guest, and it's always great to stream with you. Skywalker, it's always great to stream with you as well, my friend. It's been too long, and great debate tonight, guys. I can't wait to go back and watch it in its entirety during the pieces that I was missing while I was working. So, yeah, thanks again.
Yeah, no problem. And if there's ever more, if discussion ever comes up, if more information comes out, then we can always have another debate, because like you and Trey are supposed to have at some point. So definitely we can keep that in mind. And I guess, how long is that video that you posted, Corey? Is that
it's only like 8 minutes?
Okay, so
it's Star Wars Theory. I wouldn't play it if you're thinking about playing it, because he probably has a copyrighted, I would assume.
Yeah, probably. Oh no, I'm not playing it too, but I think Skywalker is actually watching the video right now. Well, I'm going to say this, Sky, if you're not convinced after watching that video, I'm going to have to put this as a to be continued, because I know you have your stream coming up soon. So if that's the case, if you have, put it like this, Sky, if you disagree after the video or you have other points, we'll end this on a cliffhanger. Okay, Sky, you are back right now. Okay, so did you watch that? You're on mute.
Nah, I was just saying that I'm gonna check that link out afterwards, because I got to make sure that this information is valid. You know what I'm saying? But but it wouldn't shock me if he said something like that. It's just that with his statement, I still feel the same way. It's like, bro, you're even in your statement saying, "Oh, well, it was kind of the council's fault, but it was really Obi-Wan's fault." Like, what? Like, I don't understand how.
That's part of my whole argument, is the fact that Obi-Wan knew the backstory and knew the other blame and knew the other people at fault that led Anakin to that point, which should have made him more sympathetic. That's the whole point of that. But again, we're all gonna get just arguing circles at that point. So
it's honestly too bad that Anakin didn't walk away with Ahsoka. That's the biggest shame of it all. Like Anakin probably should have left with Ahsoka, and he saw the way that they treated her. So he knew that the Jedi were kind of scumbags at that point. So he knew, and it had to happen to make the movies and everything like that. But in an alternate universe like that one new Star Wars Lego show that's coming out, it would be cool if they played around with that. What would have happened if Anakin left the Order as well? If him and Padme could have been off somewhere, doing something, on a beach or something like that. Maybe he finally gets to enjoy the sand and the ocean, and makes a sandcastle or something like that. Who knows?
Right.
Oh yeah, definitely. I definitely want to see that what if Star Wars series. Like, what if Anakin left with Padme? What if people listen to Fives? What if Anakin won the battle on Mustafar? I want to see that Revenge of the Sith clip. I want to see that in a live action movie. So anyway,
I'm really hoping Star Wars. Have you seen the Star Wars Lego what if thing that's coming?
Oh no, I haven't.
Oh yeah, there's like a Star Wars Lego where like the galaxy is turned upside down, and they're going to be doing a lot of different things. So I'm hoping that they, jump around and play around with some of those things.
Oh my God, yeah, definitely. I think that'd be really cool. And we're gonna kind of wrap this up now, because I know Sky has to get going with night shift right now. So just real quick, I guess Sky, I know I've already said it, but what's coming up on your channel?
Yeah, we got Night Shift coming tonight. Gonna be having a dope discussion. Gonna be covering a few topics. The main topic is James Gunn not knowing how to market DC properly. And we got some other stuff that we're gonna be talking about as well, such as Furiosa, because we're in the release week of that. Yes, we are trying to get on this Night Shift proper schedule, which is Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But it seemed like these past 2 weeks, on Mondays, we've kind of been having something come up, and we've had to move the show to Tuesdays. But we're gonna be live very soon. It should be a very dope and funny conversation. So looking forward to seeing all you guys over there. And I really do appreciate Bad Dan having me on this live stream, and for Corey making a guest appearance as well. Shout out to both of you guys.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. And I really appreciate you coming on. And Super Bowl Corey, what's coming up on the Bat channel?
Yeah, man. I'm just we're gonna be doing some stuff. Actually, tomorrow we're celebrating Trey's birthday and watching Godzilla. It's the 10-year anniversary of the MonsterVerse, so we're looking forward to that live stream tomorrow. And we're gonna be talking more Star Wars, of course. Acolyte coming out pretty soon. So yeah, we're staying busy over there as well. So I can't thank you guys enough for allowing me to come on and jump Sky while he wasn't prepared for it. So but Sky's here for that smoke, as he said. So
you know what I'm saying?
He does. He did a great job. So I appreciate you guys.
I got the high ground at all times, y'all.
You do have the high ground right now, especially.
Okay.
Oh,
good call out.
That's messed up.
I'll put you back
I'm
since you're the
surprised you
main.
gave me that with my AT-AT Christmas trees in the background now. So
I didn't even realize those were Christmas trees.
he's probably gonna kick me off now. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Well, anyways, coming up on my channel is that I will eventually, I'm hoping this week to get Bat Dan's clips out, where I clip out a certain section of the Watch Party for Rebel Moon Part 2, because we had a great discussion on James Gunn, the Superman reveal, the Collider article. I'm saying in air quotes because calling it a real article would be way too generous. And actually, Skywalker, if you would come on, I definitely want to have you come on to review all 6 Skywalker saga films. So this could be spread out whenever there's time. And yeah, because I know we were talking about that last year, and now that I got the Space-Tastic's intro up, we can definitely do that. And
hey, I'm always down to come on Bad Dan's channel. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to have a lot more coverage for Cell. I have some pretty cool ideas to promote Cell on my channel, so be on the lookout for that. And guys, if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe. Hit the notification bell for more unique takes, interesting thoughts, and great discussions such as these. And it was a really great having you both on my channel. And on that note, have a Space-Tastic day.
Pick up those cartoons and cereal Cell shirts. They're fire, bro. Pick them up.
Hey.